second way you get to that point is by seeing people beyond yourself. By seeing people beyond yourself. I'm going to say something right now that's going to come across as a little harsh, but it's true, and it's actually for your benefit. So, I want you to hear this morning, that it's come from a place of love and not judgment. Jesus did not die on the cross so that you could walk around as a victim your whole life. Jesus didn't go through everything that he went through. He didn't make the sacrifice that he made. He didn't experience all of that pain so that you could walk around like Eeyore and be a victim for the rest of your life. As a matter of fact, part of what Jesus did was Jesus took that label of being a victim and having a sinful nature, and he actually put that on the cross with him. He pinned that label to the cross so that now you could walk around with the label as a victor, as being more than a conqueror, as being on the winning side, of submitting to the one who's overcome it all. So that life stinks, life hurts, things are going to come against you, you're going to experience trouble, but take heart because Jesus overcame it all. That's because your label as being a victim was nailed to the cross so that now you can walk around with victory. But too many people, when struggle comes, you mosey right back up on that hill and you take that victim label right back off the cross and you put it right back on your shoulders and you walk around like a victim the rest of your life. You walk around trying to get sympathy and trying to get the attention of others more than trying to seek what God's purpose is in that situation. Now listen, I'm not trying to belittle times of life where you feel like things are crushing down, because I have been there. I will continue to be there at times of life, and I know how it is. And I know that the natural response is to go into survival mode and to figure out how to fix it, to figure out how to get the pain to go away, to figure out how to, clean everything up and clean up the mess that's around me. But again, you got to come to a point where you make the choice to say, I am not a victim. I do have victory in Jesus. And so anything that does come against me, it's not catching Jesus off guard. It's not catching God off guard. God's not surprised by this. And his sacrifice on the cross was that good that I can still walk around as an overcomer. See, the problem with being a victim, there's a couple problems. When you're a victim, you feel entitled to be a victim. And so you feel entitled to search for sympathy. You feel entitled to be self-centered. And when you're self-centered, you're overlooking all the people that God has placed in your life for you to help, for you to bring hope to. Just like Paul being chained to the boat. Yeah, life stunk and he was being mistreated. Things were unjust. It was not fair. But isn't it crazy that Paul wasn't looking down at the shackles around his own feet? He was speaking hope to even the guards that were keeping him in shackles. Paul never overlooked the people that God had placed in his life. So not only does it hurt the people that God has placed in your life, but actually being a victim hurts you. Because there is no hope in and of yourself. You can't dig your way out. You can't figure everything out. You can't reason your way out of everything. You can't just supernaturally give yourself peace that surpasses understanding. You don't have new mercies every morning. And when you are self-centered, it's impossible to be Christ-centered.
That's good.
When you choose to be a victim, even though you don't mean it, you are actually shoving God out of the door. Because there can only be one center. And what is at the center is what everything else revolves around. And so if you allow yourself to become a victim, and if you allow yourself to be Eeyore, and you read the verse like, count it all joy when tests and trials come. Well, if you do that, you are your own source of hope, your own source of peace, your own source of joy. And Jesus did not die on the cross for you to be self-centered. He died on the cross so that he could be the center of your life, and everything else revolves around him. You have the ability to say, I'm going to choose to count that as joy when you see people beyond yourself. It's incredible reading through the story, and I hope you go back and you read these 2 chapters. It is so obvious that It's not that Paul just didn't give himself a pity party, but it's just unbelievable how he constantly was so focused on all of the hurting and freaked out people around him more than he was his own self and his own situation. To have the ability to speak hope to the very men that were keeping him imprisoned is supernatural. The reason he was able to do that is because his purpose in life, his priority was glorifying God. So Paul was at a point in his ministry, he was at a point in his life where he said, God, I'm here to glorify you. So if that means me preaching behind a pulpit, or if that means me being chained to a sinking boat, I can do it either way. Here's a thought. I wonder if Paul was able to minister and heal and save more people through his suffering and hardship than he would have if he just would have kept preaching behind a pulpit. I wonder if some of the things that you and I walk through in life have the ability to reach and encourage and strengthen and minister to and save more people than if we just walk through life with health, happiness, success, and security. You avoid becoming a victim by seeing the purpose for everyone else around you. You know what a great practice is when life stinks, when you do feel like you just caught the raw end of the stick and you are tempted to just make it all about you. Yeah, pray about what's going on. Ask God for help. And then ask God to show you who in your life he needs you to speak to. Who has it worse than you? Who is he placing in your life to encourage? God, what purpose do you have in this season? I don't know why I'm going through this, and this stinks. But there must be purpose in it. The third thing, as I bring the band back up, that I want to bring to your attention is you have the ability with holy swagger to say, count it all as joy by taking your shot. In other words, by not giving up.